All right. Looks like we've got live. Of course, we're live, but we're also broadcasting live. That's the fun stuff. Actually, it's all good. So we'll see again. This is me holding the vision for the round table and learning how to bring people to it. Slowly, slowly. The turtle medicine, as I've shared before, is something that I hold. And I'm gonna actually grab my light so you can see me a bit better. So I'll be right back. I'm excited to be in a new space. And I'll be right back. Okay. Cool. So it's Keegan, and I'm holding the weekly intention to gather. And if nobody is gathering, then I will be broadcasting anyway. Uh, we'll just see how it goes. I've got some fun creatives brewing, sharing the event and sharing the ethos, the call to a deeper meaning, a call to a deeper meeting and connecting for us to come together and start to live as one strategically. Uh, Aquarius is about honoring our uniqueness and creating a beautiful community from that place of honoring the sacredness in all life. I heard somebody recently define egalitarian as coming from that space of honoring the unique divinity within everyone. And that really resonated with me. That's the type of freedom and collaborative action that I'm looking to be a part of and create in the world, to be a leader in, and to be in league with other leaders in, stepping forward in a good way, honoring the unique divinity in every being, in every man, woman, little man, little woman, also known as children, and also in, and we are all children. We are all children of the divine. We're all children of the Mother Earth, and she is the goddess. The feminine aspect of the divine is resurging now. That's a part of this age, this transition of coming back into balance, of honoring the feminine aspect of the divine, honoring the women in the world, allowing them to step into leadership, to step into an equality that has been lacking in past millennia of this patriarchal control and domination that is institutionalized in this mafia that we call government, this mind control, and the more that it comes um into public display and becomes less hidden, it's something that's has been implemented you know quite ubiquitously throughout the world in the structures of the governments of the different nations, and systematically removing the people from their connection with the earth. And we are all victims of that, and we are also all responsible for that through our efforts, through our actions and our inactions. We have been contributors in this life and previous lifetimes to the historical trend of the patriarchy, of the displacement, And cool. I'm just getting some responses. That's always good to see. Nice messages coming through. And hopefully people will become braver. And that's what I want to inspire. That's why I'm doing this weekly and sharing it live to step into and start holding a culture of vulnerability, of starting to become comfortable with the uncomfortable, of sharing from my heart, and holding space for others to come on and share as well, to share their perspectives, and for us to help integrate fullness, more of who we are. And ultimately, this is moving into great fullness. That is the movement that I am visioning and inviting your participation with. So welcome to this moment. And I'm just gonna enjoy it by taking a few deep breaths. If you're watching this recording, I invite you to breathe along with me and say hello to your heart. Say hello to the sky above, and find the aspect in that sky which is you. And find the connection between the you inside your heart and the you in the sky. That's why it's called this sky. Sounds a lot like this guy or this Gaian, and that's who we're going to come down to include also the mother beneath. We are children of Gaia. Gaians, extensions of the beautiful planet, and bridges between that celestial realm where we find ourselves in the various constellations, in the space between the stars, which is the true matter. Here on the earth, we have a condensed form of matter, which is very rare in the universe. We are very privileged to be experiencing this incarnation. So just give thanks and integrate gratitude into grateful. We're moving into a grateful vibration. That is a grateful vibration. Bringing more of ourselves from beyond into this present embodiment. Embodimental. We are elementals. We are a conglomeration of the ether element, which is what I was just describing. That matter beyond the matter that we find familiar, the matter which it comprises most of the universe. Space is not empty. It's full of ether. It's full of plasma. It's full of clouds, intelligent ionic matter that forms giant cosmic beings who are us. We are intergalactic, spatial, universal intelligence streaming through the fractal antenna of this earthly body, connected in a great plasma web, the universal neural network. And the circumstances of our thought, the ideas which come to us, are divinely inspired in every moment. We are resonating with universal frequencies and dreaming the dream of life together. So, hum as we breathe in and out. So, hum. Thank you for your presence, all that we are sharing the gift of this moment eternally. So it's a round table. Let's see if I'm able to bring some more friends along to sing a song of harmony, of unity, of togetherness, where we gather in bliss to elevate consciousness and explore this conceptual perception that we each uniquely have. I try to open my eyes and I try to open the eyes of my human family. And beyond trying, it's a slow and sure process. Slow and steady wins the race. And it's a human race of all colors, a rainbow race. And the blood of our ancestors is running through our veins. Ah. Elisa is telling me she may join, as I was just calling forth friends to the round table. Let's see if she's able to join. Until that, I'm in musing mystic reverie and exploring the poetic side of me. And it's a side that's full of glee, a side that's feeling free to express and say yes, to bless, and to address also the problems, which are the solutions, the alchemy of transformation, that which ails, those things which are failing are birthing a new solution from within. It may be difficult to see, but given time, and I'm working with Saturn in an alchemical journey guided by a teacher, Jocelyn Starfeather. And I'm so excited to be traveling with her on a trip to Egypt this spring. But the first part of this alchemical journey, which I began last week, is working with Saturn, also known as Kronos, the Lord of Time, the master who stands over us, making sure we do the diligent work to bring forth our true essence, to bring forth our gifts and the legacy which we're meant to leave on this earth. Each of us has that soul contract or that agreement we made with creation, and we continue to make and to sometimes stray, but be shepherded by energies like the energies from Saturn, which may crack the whip to bring us into fulfillment of those contracts that we have. Now, since 2020, I've been on a journey of learning about law and how it is fundamentally contractual in nature. And we have agreed and contracted to many, many things in this modern world. Certain arrangements, you know, I'm streaming now on a internet service which provided by the local telecom company here in Montenegro. And I went to their office a few times in the last couple of days to make the arrangement, and they just want me to just sign this contract that has all these terms. They're in another language, so I'm taking a time kind of translating on my phone to see what is actually written there, and how many times in these modern lives that we lead do we just accept terms which are given to us, and many of us not even realizing we have a choice, an opportunity to change the terms, to bring our perspective, to be selective about who we work with, how we work with them. And this is a lot having to do with the corporations. And, you know, I've written a series of articles that that kind of outline the history and of you know, the development of the modern systems of government which we have, that were set in place you know, by the Roman Empire, you know, with influences from other ancient empires, you know, mostly religious influences. You know, going back to ancient Egypt, these priest cults, you know, they took the power from the pharaohs. There's a story about Akhenaten challenging religious cult that had the power over, you know, the political power in Egypt. And the root of our political power is still based in religion. And we have this concept which we like to sing about, especially in the United States, of the separation of church and state. But really, in a subtle way, the church still holds sway, you know. And if you do some research into it, like I was doing, you know, going into 2020, you know, starting from then and realizing what is this global power grab that financial elite are trying to perform and work their way into our minds, into our creative capacity, and, as I said, systematically separate us from the earth, from our connection with the Divine Mother, and basically have us look to them as the divine. And this is how the most powerful political leaders in history have gotten that power, is to make themselves gods in the eyes of the people. And it is always the people who hold the power. We are dreaming a dream of creation, and we've been fed all these suggested creations. They call it what do they call it? Predictive programming. Hollywood is the chief culprit in showing us, what normal is supposed to look like, and giving us images which suggest the creations that we then go ahead and create as individuals, as collectives together, dreaming the dream of life into being, resonating with each other's thought energy. And we attune to the things which we consume. You are what you eat, and you are what you consume. You are what you watch. You are the sum total of the people you spend time with, also the characters that you spend time with the stories you engage with. That's why, mythology and all the amazing stories, the hero's journey that different cultures have passed on, have such an important influence on us today, and have always had. And they are our teachings for who we are meant to be, who we are choosing to be as a species. These are the mythologies, and they've been manipulated, right, by these religions that turn religious power into political power. And that's what we're dealing with. It's a God spell. This is the magic of Hollywood, which is thus named because of the wood from the holly tree that was used as magic wands in the wizards of old, and still. So that's the reality of it. We, like I said, we are conscious creators or unconscious creators, and this weekly roundtable, this transmission, as it is this week so far, is about us claiming consciousness over our creations, finding consciousness within ourselves, and returning to it, repenting, as they say, repenting of our sins. And going back to the origin of the word sin, it means missing the mark. And that has to do with terminology of archery. But it is basically when the goal is for us to create increasingly complex, increasingly ordered life, right? That is the evolutionary impulse. Life is evolving towards greater complexity and greater order, and it steps through stages of chaos and order. And so I'm learning about Egyptian mythology with this alchemical and astrological journey, which I've recently begun in preparation for a sacred pilgrimage to Egypt in springtime. And So there's a story of Horus and Set always fighting each other. And there was this movie, oh, I can't remember what it was called now, but it's an interesting movie, came out a few years ago, that depicts this battle. But Horus is representing the force of order, and Set is representing the force of chaos. And this story is reflected in other mythologies, such as in Norse mythology, the giants versus the gods, the giants representing the chaos and the gods representing order. And they are both crucial aspects of evolution towards greater complexity. It's like we dissolve into chaos, into nothing, into the blackness of the mystery. And there's so many deep and also evil things that are a part of that process, and they serve as impetus for order to rise. Sort of like there's this saying that says, "Good times make weak men. Weak men make bad times. Bad times make strong men." And something like that. Maybe it's a paraphrase, but this is the cycle, right? And that's just like, zooming in on men, but it happens for all beings, for all of the life in creation, and all of creation is alive. This is a universal spiral of the kind of the turbulence and strife of chaos conflicting with order and stirring up the drama of the great play of life. So I hope this illumination is finding its way into your mind and offering you something helpful. I know I kind of go into a rhythmic, kind of slow pacing, and this is what comes naturally to me. And it's something that changes based on who I'm with and who I'm around, which is why I'm calling in more co-creators to these discussions to change up the pace, to add their unique soul to the soul soup. And yeah, of course, a little personal story about me, I've just moved into an apartment in the south of Montenegro. I was previously, I guess, on the Central Coast, which I loved being on the Central Coast of California. There's some spring coming into my world with the blossoming of trees, even though it's still quite cold, for me anyway. And that's why I'm having this kind of pollen reaction, which I always have gotten springtime allergies. But I mention all this as a way of explaining why it's just me on the roundtable this week, as I haven't had much time to promote and to share and to invite people. And people have their lives. They're always striving in, and there's so many forces calling our attention. But this is a call which is holding your best interest at heart. I am here to be
a source of blessing and love in the world, source of encouragement and empowerment, support towards your empowerment, which, like healing, you can only claim for yourself. What we call the people we call healers are really, they're facilitating us to do our own healing. It's really an internal process. That's what I've learned through my journey in the healing arts, which began kind of in 2013 when I was volunteering at the Punta Mona Jungle Botanical Garden and Retreat Center in Costa Rica, and first got into some massage and Thai massage. There was some workshops that were offered by other volunteers there, which piqued my interest. And then the following year, I did a 250-hour massage course, and that had energy healing as part of it. I got Reiki level 1, and went into service, traveling, sharing a healing touch, and learning more about the energy with various experiences, different workshops at festivals and gatherings, and also getting exposure and the privilege to participate in ceremonies. Like I was doing a permaculture action tour, and I got to be in a 4-day gathering, which was a celebration of the elements. And so they didn't have the ether element, but that would have been an extra day. And so we had a day where we were doing sweat lodge in the Lakota style. They were Lakota people. And there was one day dedicated to fire, one to water, one to earth, and one to air. And as I was saying in my my flow of consciousness flowetry at the beginning of this session, those elements are in us. They're composed of thought forms condensed into matter, right? Universal frequency energy vibrating at different rates and in different signature frequencies, which can be demonstrated. Like if you look up cymatics, I mentioned this in a previous roundtable, you can see the frequency of different notes vibrating in matter, and they form different geometries. So that's what I mean by a signature. It's a sign that we have this or that geometrical pattern which corresponds with the frequency. And so my journey with the healing arts got into, like, I took this 18-month-long training that was with the Neo-Shamanic Society of Christoph Melchizedek, who was a student of Barbara Brennan, who wrote the book Hands of Light, which I highly recommend to understand the energy fields of the human body, which by the way correspond with the Hermetic principles and the levels of the different dimensions. And I think I recommended this last week, but that's what I was discussing with Harlan and with Talisa last week, about the Hermetic principles as foundational natural laws for our reality that we are creating together. And so the dimensions of reality correspond with those. The chakras of vibrating at certain frequencies correspond with the human energy field, which is in layers. So we have the root chakra, which is what I'm working with at the first alchemical stage and with Saturn on this journey. And that has to do with our survival, with our reproduction. That's the survival of our species, our connection with the earth. We depend on Mother to survive. She gives us our sustenance. And I'm having some moringa sustenance right now, which supposedly, so I'm told, is the most nutritious food. The moringa tree from India. I've got some moringa leaves tea. So I will send the link here to Gel and bring her on. Let me just send. That way it's not just boring old me talking about the chakras. Let's see if Gel on. So that's just one, that's just level one, right? The root chakra, the first level of the alchemical process and the generative principle of our survival. And so that is the corresponding frequency with what is known as the etheric body. So we have, like our physical body, although technically all of this is physical. Like I was saying in the like kind of meditative transmission earlier, and I'm reading this in a book that's it's called A New Science of Heaven by Robert Temple, talking about how physical matter is very tiny percentage of the matter in the universe, because they've observed over the years the plasma clouds in space and they actually create what they call dust. So these are compounds, complex molecules floating in space, in these plasma clouds. And so basically the etheric body is also it's also physical, because physics is not just the dense matter, but also the subtle matter. Although people may not quite understand that perspective because they think of physical as, that which you can grab onto, I guess. But like Barbara Brennan, my teacher's teacher, who wrote The Hands of Light, was blessed with the ability to see these subtle physical phenomenon, such as the subtle layers of the human energy field. And so there's the etheric body, which is vibrating at the same frequency, corresponding frequency with the root chakra. And so above that in frequency and above that in our bodies, we have the sacral chakra, which is vibrating with the emotional body. And I'll just go and name the next up, being the solar plexus chakra, the mental body. And those three are kind of the personal chakras, right? They're about survival. They're about, the second one is about emotionality. It's about relationship, so our social interaction, also sexual. And the third one is about our thoughts on a personal level, kind of maybe like the ego mind, the construct that we hold. We have an individual psychological makeup on the mental level that is most powerfully correlating with our third chakra, the solar plexus. And that is our sense of personal identity, of our kind of role in the world. So those three are kind of for us as individuals. Then the heart is like a bridge between our personal selves and a higher transpersonal aspect of identity, of psychology, of who we are, of us as creators. And it is connective because it's attuning us to rhythm, to cycles. It's beating. It's an impulse that's why harmony is putting us in time, in a rhythm. And that's how we bridge. That's why music is the most powerful coalescer of people together. And it's a universal language. And so that's the bridge. And it's related to our love, and giving and receiving love. Love is opening us to a connection between the personal and the transpersonal. And then moving up, we have, and the heart also, let me mention, is connected with the astral plane, or the astral body. So there's lots to say about that. There's a whole astral realm. But these, like, as I say, these are levels of frequency and energy. And so moving up higher, we have the causal body, which is connected with the throat chakra. And then we have the third eye, which is connected with, they call it the bliss body, right? Or the celestial body, also the angelic body. This is a higher frequency energy. And this, if you have this activated like Barbara Brenna did, I'm describing the levels of the human energy field, which she wrote about in her book, Hands of Light. These are things she could see because of her activated third eye. And, this is, what else can I say about the bliss body, the third eye? No. But the last one is the crown chakra. And that is like the monadic body, the Buddhic body. This is full kind of universal oversoul type of energy that forms, like that body forms kind of like a cosmic egg around us, right? This is like the outer layer of the human aura, and that is our universal selves, right? Our God and goddess selves. And really all of it is universal God, goddess self. It just percolates down into different layers and minutia of physical manifestation. But like matter, physical matter, that word comes from mother. And so there's the realm of spirit and the realm of matter, but we unify them, and all of it is divine. The gross, the material is also sacred. The mundane is also sacred. That's what I was saying. We have these seemingly random thoughts and inspirations, reactions that we have, but it's kind of all part of this beautiful orchestration of creation. So it's all sacred and it's all divine. And so we are becoming aware of that. And through our journey of enlightenment, or as I like to call it, self-royalization, we realize we are the kings and queens of the earth. And that's why my channel is called Law of the Earth, is because conscious co-creation is conscious communication, forming conscious agreements, also known as the law. And the agreements that we make, the norms that we choose to accept become the customs and the traditions of our people. I mentioned in my email promoting this to my 49-person email list that I'll talk about, can dive into positive law, right? We were talking about this natural law, the Hermetic principles corresponding with these things which we embody, the aspects of psychology which correspond and correlate with the aspects of our physiology, and the circumstances of our lives are direct products of this templating that we are continuously evolving and growing based on our soul's guidance and based on the influences from our environment. And so if we can consciously choose the correct choose the influences which bring us more in alignment with the soul's true stream of creation, the order of the day, like somebody said an acronym for God, which was good orderly direction, and like going back to that Norse mythology of the gods being the forces of order fighting against the giants being the forces of chaos. You can see the giants, the financial giants in our world, bringing the chaos, perpetuating the wars, funding both sides of wars to capitalize and make a profit about our division, and to increase their mighty control over the human masses by perpetuating division and war, and commerce is war. So going back to what I was mentioning, these articles that I wrote about the history of the post offices being created by the East India trading companies as they systematically went out and conquered the world, enslaving the indigenous peoples. And now I'm mentioning it, slavery is the heaviest burden, like in alchemy, in this process of justification. I just learned that's what it's called when you like this process of turning lead into gold, which alchemists strive to do, and it's a process of your inner reality, so the lead for me that I chose to work with is this phenomenon of slavery, which I deal with. We all deal with it personally, and we deal with it as a collective. And wanted to transmute that into the gold of liberation and freedom. So that's the journey that I'm on, and I'll continue to share. This is the quest, and the age of Aquarius is and the Roundtable talks, this dream of conscious community co-creating on a global level, leveraging technology to liberate us rather than to enslave us. That's the trajectory that I'm projecting and envisioning. So check out those articles. I publish them on my unite.live channel, which is Law of the Earth. There's a Law of the Earth Facebook page. It has links. I may have links to that, but if you go to just unite.live, you can find my channel, Law of the Earth, and there's articles there. And I've been sharing them on my Telegram, and so they kind of go over kind of some of that history. And it's ultimately the articles are titled Mission from Mom, and I talk about my mother and our mother, the Earth, commanding at this time, resonating with the process of justification, of bringing justice, of taking the lead of slavery and transmuting it into the gold of freedom. And freedom is us all honoring the golden rule, right? Doing unto others as we would have done unto us, giving everyone their choices, allowing each individual to express themselves in the way that they feel guided to do, and offering our support to each other to live from that guidance. This is the wisdom of life, friends. This is where we're going, and welcome along to it. I would like to bring that support to your life and help you help more people to step into that so we all benefit. Sounds like a great dream, right? Well, I will be tenacious in pursuing it. So you'll see me again here next week, and the week after, and the week after. And I'll be working on also, my connectivity, my ability to bring others along into this space of justification, of unification, while celebrating all of our diverse beauty and allowing our gifts and perspectives to be expressed openly, transparently, with acceptance and with love. So I've got about 8 minutes till the hour. I don't know if anyone will join, but that's kind of what I had to share, just for a monologue. And like I said, I promise to be tenacious and to share this opportunity with more people, and bring them on so that we can have something more interesting, something with a little more conversation happening, more than just a monologue of me, as interesting as I am. All right. I say that with all humility, with gratitude for anyone that did tune in to watch, and sending many blessings that you find your clarity, your connectivity, your heart's true expression, and live that dream into being, supporting others to do the same. Aho, much love, and just breathe out, maybe sing out with a little bit of om. 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 Frequency of renaissance, rebirth, renewal. Thanks for joining in whatever way you have. See you soon again. Love you much.